From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us in the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold beer and let's get after it. We've got a Dos Perros from Yazoo today.
Oh yeah, I'm a Dos Perros fan. I was trying to think of like what the word for fan was in Spanish, but I don't know the answer to it. So yeah. So I mean, aficionado, I would say works for sure.
Yeah.
So
now I'm interested. I know my wife knows. She's been taking Spanish lessons a lot. I think she's like 150 days in a row taking her Spanish days. So shout out to her.
Ooh, wow. Megan's multilingual.
I think I'm at about 98 days in a row for French.
Wow, what a useless language to learn, Bobby.
I mean, we're hockey fans, bro.
Yeah,
never know when we might find ourselves in Montreal.
But we do know when we're find ourselves in America, and that's always, buddy. And so, that's the thing. Like we might be in Montreal.
So this is at least a fan for like a room fan, but the Spanish word for fan is ventilator. So
that hits too close to home with COVID being, like just kind of coming to a close. I'm just going to go with fan or aficionado.
I'm a big ventilator of this beer.
I'm a huge ventilator. That just sounds like we are poking fun, and I'm not trying to do that. You know me. I don't like to rock any boats unless they're Chinese or Russian, and in which case, rock away, buddy.
All right, today we're talking some Golden Knights, Islanders, Hurricanes, Habnadians, Sabres, the NFL draft. Someone might get some jail time for VHS theft, and the Falcon and the Winter Soldier review. Don't forget to check us out on What a Maneuver and Patreon. And like we said last week, we've got our June 26th event at
Tailgate Brewery.
And then also we just added May 20th. We'll be sitting down with friend of the show, Manny Blue at 6th and Peabody for his show on that Saturday. So make sure to check us out there and come see us. And we might be giving away some free stuff. Maybe. But how are you this week, bud?
I am doing well, brother. I'm not too bad. Got vacay coming up in about a month or so, give or take a few days. I'm excited. I haven't been on a vacation in way too long. I've been working way too hard, and you've been making me film like 4 or 5 30-second videos, bro. Like I'm tapped. Okay. Like I am tapped to the gills. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, man, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. The wife and I went to a Steel Panther concert up at Hop Springs in Murfreesboro. It was dope, dude.
Nice.
Steel Panther's a great band. They got opened up by a band called the Josephines and Blackstone Cherry. So it was a really good event. Really fun.
What venue?
Hop Springs. It's a new brewery in Murfreesboro.
Okay,
right there, going down towards Woodbury.
Okay, well,
it was a big event. I got some videos. It was wet and muddy, dude. We were sitting up and we just got general admission tickets, and we're thankful because down in the house, like in the pit, dude, it was a mud fest, and they had like corrals for like barricades to keep everyone in their own little pods.
Sure.
And it was just like looking at like a pig pen down there.
Yeah. So I guess it was like an outdoor.
Yeah, it was an outdoor event, rain or shine. And it was raining all day, and I got a new one of those like outdoor chairs, but it's got like hydraulics on it, so it rocks back and forth. Okay. And that thing, it was working in the mud, but it got real muddy.
Yeah, for sure. I can imagine. So, well, cool.
All right, let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
That beer is a bit heavy after
told you
after funneling as many beers as we did for the
yeah.
But hey, work's work, man.
Hey, you gotta just sometimes you just gotta do your job, buddy. Yeah. Nobody likes funneling beers. Except for us. And, probably a bunch of other people,
in
especially
our entire demographic.
Yeah, if you're listening to this show, you probably liked it. But nobody likes complaining more than us. So we'll complain about stuff we love just to complain about it. So, but this is a heavier beer, but I mean, it's not super heavy, it's like a good beer. It just doesn't hit as smoothly after you funnel like 3 beers. Yeah. So,
yeah. But all right. Turner Sports wins the NHL second TV package. So that means TNT will take over, what I guess used to be
the NBC Sports Network version of things.
Yeah. And honestly, TNT kills it on NBA
big
tonight.
Win. That's what I was about to say. Big win for hockey, for sure, in my opinion. I mean, Turner Sports does a really, really good job with, like you said, NBA. But I mean, tournament time for March Madness, they always do a fantastic job. I'm looking forward to this. We've talked about, NBC's had their run for sure. And there's it's not been all bad or anything, but there has definitely been points in which you're like, I wish NBC didn't have this type of deal.
Mostly bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to be nice, as to not offend, as we talked about. I mean, they're not Russian or Chinese, so.
All right. Let's see. The Golden Knights, the Avalanche, the Wild, and the Hurricanes have all clinched a playoff berth. Wild that 3 of those teams are all in the same division. Really shows. And what was funny is before the
pun intended, right?
Well, before the season started, the Blues fought tooth and nail to get into that division because they were like, oh, if we get in there, it'll be a cakewalk into the playoffs. They may not make it, and I am super excited.
Yeah, I mean, not only are you just generally excited because you hate the Blues, but you've been pretty adamant that they weren't going to get in. So, like, whether or not it was a team that you hated or you loved, you have pretty much put your reputation on the line by saying for the past few months that they're definitely not getting in. So it's looking pretty good for you. I'm checking the divisions as of recording.
They won last night, and that might have put them. Yeah, they are in. I think after that, but I think does Arizona have more games left? I think
no. Arizona has 3 more games played, so it's not. It's tough for you.
Still got the Kings. Sure. The Kings are still in it.
Kings are roughly still in it. They are mathematically still in it. I mean, they're at 46 games played with 42 points, whereas
Jordan Bennington's going to do what Jordan Bennington does, and that's choke. So.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, maybe so. And the Blues are sitting at 46 games played with 48 points. So, I mean, we're not out of the realm of possibility, but you better hope, man. You better hope for some L's for sure.
Andrew Shaw from the Blackhawks retires at age 29 due to concussions. He's got 2 rings with the Blackhawks. But yeah, I mean, it really goes to show that. What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna comment on it. I mean, good for him. I mean, obviously not good for him. I don't want him to have a bunch of concussions, but smart to pull the trigger too early rather than too late when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think we're going to see it more and more as more information comes out about the not only obviously terrible danger of concussions, but the terrible long-term danger of concussions. I mean, we've seen it in the NFL for a long time, and we've seen a bunch of early retirement type of deal for this type of stuff. I think that it's finally becoming more accepted within the NHL to do something similar to this, whereas used to it was, you retire early. What a pansy. I can't believe this guy. It's like, come on, man. He's got, he's made more money than you and I will make in 50 years. And he was not even a big time star type of deal. I mean, enjoy your money, dog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I completely am okay with something family, like that. You want to keep playing? Great. You want to retire? Who am I to tell you to? I mean, bro, I wish I could retire. So like, why would I think that this guy that, has made way more money than me shouldn't? Yeah. So
I just thought it was wild when fans got mad that players retired young. Like, dude, would you not do the same thing?
Well, yeah. I mean, the people that get mad are the folks that, have no skill sets. Yeah. So their retirement is not even in their potential future. Yeah. So like, they're like, I can't believe this guy. I go in to clean off my boss's shoes every day. And then, I'm working hard every day. I can't believe this guy. I don't know who I don't know who's cleaning boss's shoe. I guess shoe shine guys.
shining everyone's
but they're
bosses.
not. But well, those are independent people.
Yeah.
They're not. They're bosses. They're just guys.
and if your boss is a shoe shiner, then you could probably go off on your own and do it yourself.
You can. I mean, it's. I would imagine the overhead. I mean, you do have to buy one of those dope thrones.
Yeah.
So that's like one thing.
I think those are just always in airports. Like you don't. I think it's finders keepers with those.
Opryland Hotel, you can find them as well.
Yeah.
Those are. I mean, they are pretty sick. You're like, I don't even care about having my shoes shined, but every time I pass one, I'm like, maybe you need some shiny Nikes.
I want to turn one of those into a toilet. Just a super dope toilet throne.
Yeah. I mean, I guess. Yeah, that would be not. I mean, it would be. It would take up a lot of space in the bathroom.
Oh, no, I'm talking about in the airport. Just out in the
open.
airport. Yeah, in the airport.
Getting your shoes shined while dumping. Yeah. Dumping out. I love it. I love the idea. Should we patent it?
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's move to outside the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
It is probably the most electrifying night in sports. It is the day when dreams become reality and the next 10 years of teams will be decided. It is the NFL draft tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I would like to highlight though, real quick, Bob. I don't know that the draft of the NFL is the most electrifying night in sports.
I'm just hyping it up.
Yeah, I mean, you're super hype. It was super hype. I was hype on it. But I would say the Super Bowl probably beats that.
Couldn't hear you how hype it was,
or any other event, no, but I am jazzed up. I got a little money on with some friends with some draft over under that we generally
by friends,
do.
You mean your bookie?
No, this is
DraftKings?
This is actually our boy Derek Harris. So he does this every year. I guess since I got some of them here, I'm gonna go through a few of them, see what you think.
Risky, he may not pay you back.
Well, yeah. Well, only if he's way drunk and he makes the bet himself. So we got other people involved in this one. So hopefully I get paid. I got paid out 2 years ago when I won it. So
I, in fact, did zero research for this segment, even though I decided to bring it up. Cool. So let's see what you got as far as surprises.
It's even better. Okay, let's say over under 2 running backs. I guess over under 1.5 running backs taken in the first round.
Oh yeah, I would take over 1.5.
Really? Yeah. Who? Which 2?
I'd have to do more research. I know. I just going through the mock draft. I know I saw 2 running backs in there, and I saw multiple people's things. And it's the entire first round's pretty decent.
The correct answer would have been Najee Harris and Travis Etienne if he does go. I think it's going to be under. I think that. Usually teams are not going to use that first round for a running back unless he is well worth it. Could totally happen. First receiver off the board. Do you think it'll be Devonta Smith, Heisman Trophy winner? You think he's going to be the first receiver off the board or the field?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay. Who do you think is going to go? Probably Waddle.
I think LSU.
Oh,
Chase.
I'm so sorry. I meant Waddle or Smith. Yeah, Jamar Chase is I agree with you. He's going to go first. I messed it up. Which Alabama receiver is going first? Jalen Waddle or Devonta Smith?
I think Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I don't think that. I
see him either going.
Yeah, where do you think he's going? You think he's under 10.5?
Honestly, I could see. I think they're both going to go outside the top 10.
Okay, both of them. I can see that as well. I could see them going
I could honestly almost see them going both into the NFC. It was the 11th and 12th pick.
Yeah,
I could see one of the. And honestly, I think it's a toss up which one goes first. I think it's
it's really dependent on because last year nobody expected Ruggs to go first, and he did. So it will really depend. Let's say you think Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase is going first.
Pitts.
Yeah, me too. I think he's going to Atlanta for sure.
That's who yeah.
Who do you think the Bengals are taking at pick number 5?
You got to protect Joe Burrow, right? You need offensive lineman.
Agreed. Sewell is who I have going to them as well. A trade in the first 9 picks during the draft. You think someone's trading up into the top
first
9? Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
That's
maybe first 15
as well. Who are the Niners taking at number 3?
Ooh.
Probably definitely can agree that they're probably taking a quarterback. What quarterback are they taking?
I mean, do we think Zach Wilson's going to make it number 3? I don't think he's.
I think he's going number 2.
Yeah,
no doubt. In my
Trey
mind,
Lance of North Dakota State.
Really, you think so? I have Mac Jones. I think that Mac Jones is probably got the best pedigree. I think it's the best risk averse pick for the Niners, and I think he fits Kyle Shanahan's type of system personally. Let's say,
honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Mac Jones falls a little bit and Washington takes him.
Or really, okay,
at 19.
I don't think he ain't falling to 19. I will tell you that right now. Do you think that the Pats will take a first-round quarterback?
What are they even picking this year? I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, but yeah, I do. I mean, I think Justin Fields fits in that system well.
Yeah, I think he'll, unless the Pats trade up, I think he's gone by that time frame. I think the Broncos are going to take a quarterback because I think the Broncos are probably going to land either Lance or Field.
Who's their quarterback right now? The Broncos.
Drew Lock.
I mean,
I personally wouldn't take a quarterback. Yeah. I kind of believe a little bit in Drew Lock personally.
Yeah, I don't think they're done with him yet. I think they're going to give him one more year. I think they need to shore up that defense a little bit.
If I were them, I would be trading down a little bit, getting some value out of that. Honestly, first defensive player off the board: Patrick Surtain the second or the Field.
First defensive player.
He's a cornerback. A lot of people are projecting him to go to the Cowboys.
I think this goes back to the last question. I think cornerback out of South Carolina for Denver. J.C. Horn.
Okay, Horn. So Horn is because the first off the board. Is not a bad call.
Denver's in a high-powered offensive division. They've got to get defense stacked if they're going to not get blown out every week. Because you can't. I don't think you can trust in Drew Lock to outgun the other.
I don't necessarily disagree with that at all. I think that's a really good thought process for sure on that particular question. Panthers taking a quarterback.
Who do they have?
7. I think they're at 7. They're playing, Teddy Bridgewater's there right now.
They've got pick number 8. I don't know, man.
8. Okay. So it's
8. They've got Sam Darnold there now. I think they're going to give Sam Darnold a chance, and they need to protect him.
You think so? And
yeah, I think
they still have Bridgewater, right? Is that correct? Yeah, I'm not. I don't
know, but I think Sam Darnold's going to be there. They're
not familiar.
QB1.
All right, and so last one to kind of, because we don't want to go through the whole thing, but over under 13.5 defensive players taken in the first round. 2 picks. Defense usually surprises the day a little bit.
I'm going to take over.
Okay, so over. And then I guess just the bonus question, you think, I'm not even going to go specific. Who do you think the Titans are going to take? But do you think the Titans are going, I've seen some folks think Titans are going edge rusher. I've seen some folks think that Titans are going wide receiver, Elijah Moore maybe. What are you thinking?
I think they're going. Cornerback or safety.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've seen some of that too. I've seen some.
I think you give a 1-2 punch with Kevin Byard, and then you've got a solid safety tandem, and boom, they're going to lock down.
Losing, Jonnu Smith and Corey Davis. Those are 2 tough losses. I mean, you would think that. You got to go. I'm personally thinking receiver. I think you got to go receiver in my mind. Should be fun. I mean, I would imagine we'll do a similar thing that we did last year. Do a Zoom call where we.
Well, maybe. My Thursday night is packed, so possibly we might try and get an emergency.
I think we did. I don't think we did it until Friday.
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, we can just review the first round.
We might. We'll let you guys know online.
No,
we might get it worked out.
No promises, as we generally.
Yeah.
We never always pull the trigger on all the things that we come up with on air.
But all right. ESPN will bring back Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick to the Monday Night Football booth in 2021. I'm okay with that.
I mean, I love Steve Levy. I'm a huge Levy guy.
I would like Eugene and Dan more in the booth.
I mean, if we're getting our druthers, which awesome word, by the way. If I had my druthers, I mean, we're bringing back Tirico and and my boy Gruden. That was one of my favorite booths of all time. So I mean, we can all just generally agree, as long as it's not Jason Witten.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, there are folks that people don't like.
You want to hear a hot take that might people will probably get mad at because people get mad at everything. I don't think John Madden was. I think John Madden was overhyped as a commentator.
John Madden,
he's classic, but that's the thing.
That's the thing.
I think people have rose-colored glasses with him.
Sure, I mean he was, but the thing is, what I agree with you that he was overhyped, but you're talking about like he was one of the founding fathers of commentating type of deal to me.
Yeah,
so I agree with you.
When you if you were to judge Wilt Chamberlain to today's NBA, obviously,
that's a terrible example because Wilt Chamberlain straight dominated.
Yeah, and John Madden dominated his day in the booth, but the fact is he's not what he.
Okay, fair, because he was the only guy dealing content. I can agree with that.
Wilt Chamberlain was the tallest dude playing against a bunch of Indiana just strong boys.
To be fair to Mr. Madden, we didn't get to really hear John Madden until the tail end of his career.
Foot fungus sprayed, bro.
Right, exactly. We didn't get to see him in his heyday. Where there was nothing to really compare him to. I can agree with that. That John Madden's not fantastic, but he is one of the forefathers of calling sports.
Listen, he gets my respect for sure, but I feel like people always say, "Oh, John Madden, no one will be as good as John Madden." We've had several.
Yeah.
Tony Romo, in my opinion, is a better commentator and better booth guy than John Madden.
Yeah, that's almost not a really
coming from a Washington
fair
fan.
Comparison. In my opinion, I do agree that Tony Romo is better. Is he better because he relates to us more though? You know what I'm saying? Do we think John Madden's not great because he's old and we didn't, we don't connect with him on the same level? I think that's a potential part. But I think,
John Madden did love drawing on that screen though.
I have never heard anybody that has said they don't like Tony Romo calling games though. So
I heard one person said it and I should have punched him, but I think it was at a bar and he was like, Tony Romo. I think he didn't, more than likely he's never heard Tony Romo. He's just like, right. Tony Romo sucks. So he must suck as a commentator. It's like, no, bro.
At a bar, I'm just talking shit. Yeah. So I'm just excited for, I'll be excited for this team. I don't hate Louis Riddick or Brian Greasy. But I love Steve Levy. So that's the biggest thing is, a good color commentator can go a long, long way. I think Mike Tirico or Bob Lee, those type of guys, Al Michaels to me is, they can cover a lot of the bad regular commentation, in my opinion.
You know how this past year they did a Nickelodeon game?
I'm sorry, play-by-play, not the color commentator.
You know how this past season they did the Nickelodeon game? I think it'd be fun to do that with other mediums. So, I don't know, have it on E tonight and have Dan Levy and
Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek?
Yeah, have him.
Oh, dude, he would kill anything that he did, bro.
Yeah.
He'd kill anything that he did.
Have him and what's his name? The guy from Community, not Ryan Seacrest.
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale.
Yeah.
I always get him and Ryan Seacrest confused. They're the same. They're the same person.
He's a Ryan Seacrest type.
Yeah. Or is Ryan Seacrest his type? Obviously not, because
Ryan Seacrest was the original Ryan Seacrest type.
Yeah.
So, but
sometimes Justin Timberlake was the original.
Justin Timberlake.
I feel like he kind of copied the JT.
When I watched Justin Timberlake do the ESPYs, it was one of the greatest experience of my life. I remember that. This is when I was 8th or 9th grade. I remember this so vividly. I have never sat down and watched the Oscars or the VMAs or any stupid stuff like that. If somebody tells me Justin Timberlake is hosting, I'm in.
Let me pitch this booth thing for maybe not E! Tonight, maybe, I don't know, some entertainment channel. You got Tony Romo in the middle because you need a player.
Yeah.
You got Dan Levy, and then you've got Andy Samberg. That's a solid.
Super solid. I think
I'm
he
not
would
watching
do
the
well.
game. I'm laughing my ass off the entire game.
My goodness. I mean, I agree that they're...
Justin Timberlake down on the field reporting.
Yeah. You don't waste a talent like Justin Timberlake by putting him on the field. Either he's in the booth or he's not. But I'll tell you what I would love to see is Nate Burleson get some more in booth type work. I mean, he was fantastic during that Nickelodeon game. I really hope that this season that they do a little bit more of that.
Yeah, that should not be a one-off thing. They should just do that more often.
It was really cool. And I can imagine being, having some kids around or something and then hey, we're gonna watch football.
And honestly, I'm not surprised since ESPN has Thursday night football, or do they have Monday night football?
Monday night football. Thursday night football is NFL Network. Is NFL Network early season,
and like Amazon or something.
I think it is. I want to say.
I don't know.
Amazon Prime has it sometimes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of different. It switches.
I'm surprised
Thursday
they don't
switches.
like stream some of them on Disney Plus and have like straight up, like
that's
the Falcon and Winter Soldier are in booth tonight.
That's coming, bro. That will be coming. I feel like that is a missed market by a lot of these big companies. Like, dude, just get take one of your other 60,000. There's like 7 companies that own all 400 channels. You could do a lot of this, and I think that they would be relatively surprised at the support they got from it. Because I mean,
I don't know anybody who doesn't have access to Disney Plus. Like,
right. I mean, so definitely should happen. It's definitely a great idea in my opinion. So, but I'm looking forward to the booth. I'm not gonna knock it until I try it.
Yeah,
type of deal.
All right. So this is a question I put in here. Should 7 inning no hitters count as a no hitter?
If you asterisk it.
But I mean, I feel like they count it as a win. They count it as a shutout. And at the same time, and here's the thing: I get if you pitch 7 out of 9.
You understand.
But what if you pitch 7 out of 7?
You understand that, but then you don't get a no hitter. If you're pitching a 9-inning game and you pitch 7,
that's not. Yeah, and I get that.
That's not a no hitter.
I get that. But what if it's a back to back and it's a 7-inning game and you pitch? I mean, I'll
tell you what. If you pitch all 16 innings and the second 7 innings you get a no hitter, I'll give it to you. My thing is like you should get the win, you should get the shutout, and I'll even allow you to get a no hitter as long as we highlight
maybe
that it was a 7-game.
Yeah, that I get.
Yeah,
but so this was going around, and obviously, they interviewed a bunch of people, and then was like, okay, you've interviewed a bunch of retired pitchers. Yeah, they all agree. But then they interviewed more people in the baseball world, and they all said, yeah, obviously it should. I mean,
well, but at what point do you stop that? Okay, so do we go back and we find everybody that's pitched 7-inning no hitter and give them a no hitter?
No, it's definitely a complicated thing, and I think a 9-inning no hitter should be a step above, and I think that's what a lot of them said too. Is like, you can call it whatever. Like,
yeah, I mean, if
you can call it, you can say this. He pitched a 7-inning no hitter.
If you identify it as such, as a different type of record. I mean, we looked at the.
But it's still not easy. It's easier, but it's not easy.
Right. We looked at the. I mean, the greatest pitcher of all time, Nolan Ryan, has not that many no hitters that you would expect. You would think that.
Yeah, I wonder how much those guys' numbers would change if you now instituted this rule.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so I'm not for it unless you identify it as such.
And I think that was the consensus was yes, for sure identify it. It's still an accomplishment. Identify it as such.
I mean, but at that point it becomes an accomplishment that we highlight. Bro, I mean, then at that point, why are we not highlighting everybody that's ever gone through 7 innings with a no hitter? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, they're saying those guys should have gotten celebrated. Like,
yeah, I mean, but they weren't because it wasn't a no hitter. Yeah. Like that's the thing with it is the no hitter is, it's nobody. And just for future reference, a no hitter isn't always a shutout. Just so you're aware, right?
Oh, well, I was telling
a no hitter. Yeah. Well, no hitter is there's a hit, but if you walk a guy in, then like you walk a guy. He's still second, he steals third, and they get an RBI. You can have runs scored in a no-hitter with their no hits.
How do they get an RBI if there's a no-hitter?
Because if I'm up to the bat and there's a guy on third and I fly out and they tag up and score. Yeah, I mean, you can get a no-hitter. That's the difference in a perfect game and a no-hitter. A no-hitter means nobody got a hit on you. And so, like, you can get a no-hitter if there's an error made by your player. But a perfect game is like no walks, no, all sorts of stuff. And that's when they're very rare. Obviously more rare than the no hitter.
A perfect game is no walks at all, not one, or is it just no runs walked in?
I'm pretty sure that the definition.
I'm
of
sure
a perfect
you're right.
Game,
that's just like that is because it's hard not to walk a single batter.
A game in which all batters from one team are retired in order. no one reaching base. That's a perfect game.
And that makes sense. And I just wanted to verify that because it made sense what you said. Yeah.
Well, you when you said it, I was like, am I
an
idiot?
I was genuinely curious.
I was like, am I an idiot?
Because I learned that. That's something new I learned.
Yeah, so a perfect game. I think Roy Halladay had a perfect game within our lifetime that we got to see. No hitters very rarely happen.
I assume they don't have to be strikeouts. They can be flyouts, right?
Just in order. You go 1 to 27.
Has anybody struck out all 1 to 27? Has that ever been done?
I highly doubt it. I don't think that anybody has 27
Maybe
strikeouts
like
in a game.
1875.
Honestly, for a perfect game to really happen, you can't. The pitch count would be too high. You would be pitching too many times. You need at least a couple of ground outs to second or something, so you're pitching 1 or 2 pitches instead of pitching 5 and 6 pitches a round type of deal. So I will. I'm interested. More than likely not, but I'm just interested to see if it was. But while you look that up, we're going to go ahead and move into our main topic of the day. We've actually got 5 teams today for Tank, Rebuild, Future, or Push. We're doing 5 teams this week, and we're rounded out our last week with 4 teams before the season ends. We've got the Islanders, Golden Knights, Hurricanes, Canadiens, and the Sabres. Our pick for Sabres might surprise you. But we're going to start off with the Islanders. We both got Push. I'll start us off. Listen, if they're going to push, what's up? Ron Nakai struck out 27 batters in one night 57 years ago. The date was May 13th, 1952.
That's pretty recent in baseball years.
No, that's basically yesterday in baseball. that's pretty. That's
wild. Is it in the MLB or is it like in a different league?
Now, I don't know that. From what I'm reading, I don't think that it was a perfect game. You can get 27 strikeouts, but if someone gets a hit or walks or something.
Oh, okay. That's 27
but
strikeouts.
Still, 27 strikeouts crazy,
is. But there's still a difference between 27 strikeouts and striking out all 27.
Right, exactly.
That's like straight. The stuff that I used to do as a kid on like my MLB game where I like set my rankings to 99 overall.
He only had 1 major league win.
And that was it? But talk about finishing on top.
Yeah.
You're like, hey guys, I'm done.
I don't know that he even won this game. I'm just saying.
He's like, I got 27 strikeouts because we played 20 innings and we lost.
The Pirates had 20 pitchers who pitched during the 1952 season, and none of them had a winning record. Their record was 42 and 112. That's rough, dude. Yeah. That's rough. Like, not even a bunch of ties in there, bro. Like, because you can get ties as a pitcher.
Sorry,
you don't
I was
get a win
dyslexic.
or a
I thought you
loss.
said 4 and 140, and I was like,
42 and 112. Yeah,
I thought you said they'd only won 4 games. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, that's 152 games. So that means like there was only like 10 ties in there. That's wild.
So did he at least win that game? He struck out that many people, making you go way back into the baseball stats.
It was a 27 strikeout no-hitter. He would strike out 24 in his next start, limiting the opponent to 2 hits. Struck out 5 batters in 1 inning. Ow. I don't even... 51 strikeouts in 2 games is another feat that's unlikely to be repeated.
I wonder how he struck out 5 batters in 1 inning.
I, too, am... I'm going to write myself a note to do because, we didn't bring it back, but this is the most interesting athlete for sure. I'm going to do a little bit of research on,
we're going to do that next week for most interesting athlete of the week.
And I'll try to have a little bit of information regarding those 2 games and try to tell you whether or not he won. This is just really telling me 27 strikeouts in 9-inning game. That's really all that it's telling me. I'm extremely intrigued about how this dude got 5 outs in a 3-out inning. So, but wow, that's pretty amazing.
But all right, so we're starting off with the Islanders. If you got distracted during that last, we're on Tank, Rebuild, Future, or Push. We both got the same thing for the Islanders. I've got Push, and if they're gonna push, they need some things to happen for them. Barzal needs to step it up. He's been taken out of his center position because whether it's just moving the roster around,
fastest guy in the NHL.
He's struggling a little bit. So we usually see the Islanders perform usually at the same pace that Barzal is performing. Also, Palmieri needs to be a big contributor. They got him at the deadline. He needs to step up, and if they want to go far and push and be even a contender for a cup, they need a lot out of him.
Yeah, I completely agree. So he has 9 games played, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points through his 9 games. He's got a -3 plus minus. I mean, you're right. That was supposed to be their knife in the other team's back, and it's not quite shown up yet. Now, 9 games is not a lot to get to know your new teammates and all that good stuff. But I mean, it's going to need to be better than now. He's still low time on ice, roughly 13 to 15 minutes a game. So that could improve. But obviously, I agree with the push. We've been hyping them up all season. I believe in them. I believe in their style of hockey. I believe in Trotzy. I think that they should push. I think that I 100% agree with you that Barzal, has been pretty youthful, and he's gotten a pass the past few years. This is the time that, look, eventually you're not going to get a pass anymore. Yeah. So I agree. I really like the team. I think that they have a real shot at a deep playoff run, but contingent on exactly as you said. Their guy they brought in needs to do something, and then their star needs to do something. Yeah. I mean,
next up, we got the Golden Knights. We're both pushed. Listen, the Golden Knights are a good team. They've been a good team.
Easy
and
money.
It's wild that they don't have to give anything up in the expansion draft.
And they don't have to give anything up in the expansion draft. And we can both agree they have some great hockey players on that team. But I would argue that they don't have any superstar hockey players on that team.
I mean, maybe Patches.
I would argue that
a superstar anymore?
I would argue that he's not a superstar anymore.
Now he's just old man Patches.
I would argue that Patches always had that opportunity to be the superstar, but never quite rolled into it when he was with the Habnadians.
Probably rolls into practice wearing a bomber jacket, just throwing wrenches at him.
Sounds sick, dude, obviously. But no, I mean, the Golden Knights are a great hockey team. Yeah. That is the advantage that that Vegas has over their opponents is they are a great team. And honestly, I think the team of, quote unquote misfits that they threw together that, guys like Wild Bill Carlson and Shea Theodore and a bunch of these guys that they kind of just threw together that were always supposed to be good, but never quite were. I think that that's to their advantage is that, every single one of these guys have been, feel like they've been disrespected and they're hungry. And we've seen that since they came into this league. So, but definitely a push. I don't think that, wouldn't be surprised if we saw them on the cusp of another cup. I mean, they were right there last year. They've been to the cup before. I mean, this is a team that come playoff time, you definitely got to watch out for. Goaltending, they got defense, they got it across the board. I don't think that there's is there one higher than push, because that's the one that I would like to choose for the
double stuff push. I think from last week
that sounds
mega push.
I think it was super push, but maybe it was double stuff.
I think that was mine.
I don't think it was double stuff though. That sounds awkward.
Hey, you can find that stuff on our OnlyFans.
Right, we do have an OnlyFans. The Hurricanes. I have the same as you. We both have this. I guess we saved all of the playoff teams for the last couple of weeks. Push, obviously push.
They're a great team.
They're an amazing team. While being super young, I would say push with a minuscule future. I don't know that the Canes are going to go win the cup this year, but I think they can do a deep.
If they did though,
right? I can see them doing it, going into a deep playoff push, and actually, I can see them going into a deep playoff push, and wouldn't be surprised if they won the cup, but also wouldn't be surprised if they didn't right now. But I think this is a team that is poised for at least the next few years. I mean, there's not any dynasties in the NHL anymore, or really any sports besides Tom Brady run teams. I don't think that we've seen a dynasty since
the Penguins.
The Penguins probably early or late 2000s. I would say that's pretty, maybe the Blackhawks, I mean, that's pretty dynastic of a team. But I mean, they had multiple superstars on both of those teams. And I mean, yeah, the Hurricanes have a guy like Sebastian Aho, but it's been mostly team play that's got them to where they needed to go this year, but definitely a push.
Hoping that next year that can be our hockey trip. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that would be awesome. And we got plenty of places to stay in the Carolinas for show. Yeah. So I would love, I mean, his mom's a hoe. It's no big deal, but I like the Hurricanes as a team. Yeah. It sucks they're in our division this year, but I mean, it's always fun to go see the Hurricanes play for sure.
All right. Next up, we've got the Habnadians. We both got future. You've got push and future.
I got push future. I mean, you're right there on the playoff cusp. You really know my feeling of it. If you got a chance to get in and potentially push forward, obviously push, but they are so young too.
To me, it was the trade deadline that did them in, that turned them from a push to a future. The fact is, the issue they lack is depth, and they got some injuries on that team. Losing Gallagher for the season was rough on them. And all of this could have been avoided if Bergevin had actually made some real moves at the deadline and used his shit ton of cap space. They could have been a push if under good management, but they didn't make any big moves. They still have a bunch of cap space, and you're playing professional sports, man. If you see a chance, you take that chance. No holds barred.
I don't know that they, even with the couple of the right moves, do you? Now I know how you felt early in the season, and that doesn't really matter late in the season. Yeah. Do you think that this team you saw the guys that got traded there? Do you really think that they were one or two pieces away, especially the guys that got traded at this deadline, from winning a cup?
I don't think it's that they were one or two pieces away. I think it's that they were one or two pieces from being a team that, I'm not saying they should have gone a superstar, but if it's just getting some depth just to help out, but just so you're not playing you're not putting so many minutes on those guys.
I guess my argument would be, do you think that it's worth picks for where they are to where they could have got?
I think it's all dependent on what they it all depends. Listen, they could have made bad moves. Bad moves can be made.
Yeah,
but if it depends on the move that they could have made. There was people moved to the deadline that what if we're talking about them bringing in Kyle Palmieri?
So what did Kyle Palmieri fetch?
I can't remember.
And do you think Kyle Palmieri would have changed the landscape of their team? Because I don't think that he would have changed the landscape of their. I don't think that there was anybody that was moved this offseason that would have changed drastically the Habnadians lineup, in my opinion.
So New Jersey got a first round pick and two minor leaguers.
So do you think that a first round pick for the Habs,
Palmieri and Zajac?
Do you think sending a first round pick from the Habs would have, to get those two guys, would have drastically changed their team enough that it would have been worth that first round pick? And I mean, there's no real answer.
Maybe not. But you know what? Sitting and doing nothing, especially in a market like Montreal, to me is unacceptable for that market. All right, we're gonna round it out with we picked a lot of push this week. We're gonna end it with the Sabres, who we've got push. No, I'm kidding.
Push.
I've got tank and like the biggest of tanks. They are what some would say not good. Some others would say bad.
Bob. They're real bad. They're real bad. I don't know if any of you that are listening to this episode listen to the fantasy episode, but you'll get this reference if you do. They're just bad, man. They're just a bad team. They're just not good. And so they're bad. And so they're not good because of it. Tank, obviously, is what I have. Hopefully future, though. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. They just...
Ain't gonna happen.
I
mean, listen, that city made whatever deal they did with every deity for the Bills. Ain't getting the Sabres too, man.
Yeah, but the Bills didn't even. No,
they got scammed on that deal, but they got a little success there with the Bills and with Josh Allen. They ain't getting it for the Sabres too.
It is I mean, I would argue that the Sabres have the Sabres have 2 to 3 more superstars, or potentially could be superstars, than even maybe the Preds would. You know, I mean, we could argue points, but I mean, Jack Eichel is a massive superstar in this league. And they have just squandered this opportunity. This is a tank of all tanks.
I mean, in the preseason, I thought they were going to be decent. Like, I didn't think they were going to be contenders, but I thought they were going to.
We don't even think they'd be. You thought that. I mean, you literally picked Jack Eichel to be the Hart Trophy winner, which was not a crazy, it's not like you just chose some random guy, bro. Jack Eichel is a great hockey player.
That city has taken a toll on him.
Tank of all tanks. I mean, no question. All right. Let's move on to games of the week.
Games of the week.
Boom, boom, boom.
Games of the week. Bobby and Brandon do the work, so you don't have to. The best from around the NHL and what to watch.
All right. Our boy Davey got into the studio. He brought us these beers. What is it? A weed
light lager.
Weed light lager.
I think this guy, this brand of beer, it clearly is. He's like, I'm just going to hit all of the points that Americans love. I'm going to throw weed on the can. I'm going to put an American flag on there, bro. We're going to be hitting some demographics for sure. I'm excited to try this, but I'm actually going to save mine for the fantasy podcast. So.
Nice. All right. So games of the week. Man, I thought I was going to have a good week. I was excited. I think I broke even this week. I think I went, 2-3 or something?
Yeah, you went 2-3, which is, you're not a math guy, but that's not breaking even, Bobby.
But when you have 5 games, it's as close to even as you're going to get.
No, because there's postponements as an option.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the first broken streak of a perfect week. I had 4 straight wins, and then my tonight's game fucking postponed, dude. You needed that real bad.
I mean, it doesn't fucking matter. It just helps your win percentage.
It doesn't. Right. Exactly. Record update, Bob. 33-36-1. Your boy, 37-28-5, dude. Domination.
Yeah, I've had a bad couple weeks
Domination
here.
Nation.
But all right. So I'll start us off Thursday night. It's gonna be a nail biter. Hurricanes versus Red Wings. You know what? Hurricanes are trying to keep that number 1 spot. They've got to show up. It's gonna be. I think it might go to overtime. Detroit's gonna fight. They're a gritty team.
Oh,
I'm trying to sell this. I'm having a hard time selling this.
Yeah.
I need wins bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at your list of 5 here, and it is a funny group of 5 that you've chosen as the highlighting games that you want people to watch. I even did a little switch for you. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw. Yeah. I just did a little switch for you.
They're gonna win. You know they're gonna win.
Okay, so my game 1, I went with a high class event. Penguins Capitals, top 2 teams in the Mass Mutual East right now. Thursday the 29th, 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. This was. It could have gone either way. I went with the Caps on this one. I've got a little money on them winning the division. I would not be surprised if the Penguins come out and win. I think they're 25-1 since, like March 5th.
I think it's going to depend if Ovi's back or not. Because he's ruled out now. He was day-to-day. He got ruled out for tonight, which in our high score league.
They're saving him up for Thursday, bro.
In our high score league, I'm kind of screwed because I'm like in a rock and a hard place because like I'm projected to lose, but that league's so weird. It could change on a dime that I was like, I can't really drop anybody because I might make it to next week.
Don't go into all of it because that's a fantasy stuff. You don't want to, you want people to want to listen to the next one. So what do you have? What do you have? I guess it's me. So next game, I did pick a couple to give you a fighting chance here, Bob. I have the Sharks playing the Avs Friday the 30th at 8 p.m.
Well, I thank you. I will be honest here. Some people say, "Oh, I'm too honorable for that."
No,
I'll be like, no. Pick all the bullshit teams because you know what? Even if you pick all these bullshit teams and I win, I'm taking that W.
You can take.
I'm taking it. And I'm flaunting it.
You can take the W. For sure.
I'm not going to take that W because I've got a lot of ground to make up.
I have the Sharks to win. I have the Sharks winning against the Avs on Friday. So, what do you have for your Friday game, brother?
I've got Vegas versus Coyotes, and listen. This is a good matchup, all right? Coyotes are fighting, Coyotes want to get in.
You're really selling these, Bob.
Vegas.
People know.
You know what? The fact is, you know what Vegas doesn't have? They don't have a superstar. We talked about that earlier.
Neither do the Yotes.
That is not a point I was going to bring up. But the fact is, we've got two teams without a single quote unquote superstar. So really, when you take that into account, they're even keeled. It is a toss up.
Even matchup.
When you compare who has the best superstars.
Who are you taking to win?
Oh, I'm taking Vegas. I'm taking Vegas all day, baby. I'm taking Vegas.
Okay. I did not see that coming. I have for my game 3. Your game 3 is actually next, so go ahead.
Probably the game of the year, easily, without a doubt. This could be the greatest hockey game. 10 years from now, we're gonna say, "You remember that game?" And I'll be like, "Damn right, I do."
I said that was really when the knife stabbed you in the heart.
Boston Bruins versus the Buffalo Sabres. It is without a doubt. You listen, when you compare the history of these cities, two juggernaut cities.
We could argue that it's the premier matchup at noon on Saturday.
100%. No other matchup will ever be, for all of history, will be known as the greatest noon matchup on Saturday.
Well, Saturday.
Is there another noon matchup?
Saturday, the 1st of May, 2021.
Yes.
Not all May noon
I had
matchups.
an asterisk there. I don't know if you heard it.
I did not.
It was in the footnotes of the non-existent transcript.
I guess we got to ask, who do you have winning that one?
You know, listen, it's going to surprise you all out there, and it surprised me too. But dug down deep for this one, the Boston Bruins.
Okay.
Taking the W against the juggernaut Buffalo Sabres that, they're not. But
so my game 3, I have the Rangers Islanders. We're going for a New York battle. Saturday the 1st, 6 p.m. I do have the Islanders winning that. I'm not gonna give you a straight 5 wins here, bud. So I am gonna take the Islanders on Saturday. I do think it's gonna be a good game, though. I think it's gonna be close. So
listen, we've all picked good games. Neither of us, we've all picked very good games this week. But on Monday at 6 p.m., I've got Capitals Rangers. And, while we're talking about Rangers, the fact is the Rangers are a great team. Mika Zibanejad was one of our stars of the week. But the Capitals, they're strong. They're going to come out. It's going to be a nail biter, and Capitals are going to take this one.
Okay. Wow. I'm surprised at that pick by you, buddy.
So are the listeners.
Okay, and that was a Monday game, so technically my game was before, so it should have gone next. Lightning playing the Red Wings Sunday at 2 p.m. Taking the Red Wings, baby. Go Wings.
Again, toss up.
Go
Detroit's
Wings,
a good
baby.
team, man.
Go Wings, baby. I'm really trying. I'm trying for you, Bobby, because this is getting real boring, and I'm trying to give you the shot. If the Red Wings win this game, I think we just call it, right? We don't even do any more games of the week. For the rest
you want
of
to
the
mercy
season.
rule it?
Yeah, I'm gonna mercy. If the Red Wings win this game, we're mercying it. You're done.
No,
but we will let you. We'll let you pick 5 wrong games the following week. No problem.
Clearly.
No problem. And then Monday the 6th. Or I'm sorry. Wow, I'm skipping 3 days. Monday the 3rd, we have the Blackhawks playing the Hurricanes. I tried for you, bro. I tried to pick the Blackhawks. I can't do it, man. They've
felt too gross.
It did. I didn't, because I especially don't think they're gonna win. The Hurricanes are just too much. I've been touting them all year. I'm gonna take the Hurricanes. I feel like it's pretty fair. Of my 5 games, I picked a pretty evenly based matchup.
I'm just saying though, if you beat me and got to say you took the Blackhawks over the Hurricanes, I mean, that's ballsy. That's something you could you could get a trophy that said I picked the Blackhawks.
I could, but then I would have to have a trophy that said I picked the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
so
very true.
I would honestly hope that the whole stadium implodes before I would pick I picked the Blackhawks before, but I'm not going to pick them against the Hurricane. I'm sorry, bro. I picked one game that's pretty evenly matched up without their superstar. 2, I picked the super underdogs. And then, 2, I picked, some pretty evenly matched potential games.
I don't know what you're talking about. These all seem great games, and I think they're all even keeled. You know what? This is professional sports.
The losers of your 5 go ahead and do your 5th matchup.
All right. I got a Canadian matchup. It's a rivalry. These two teams never fail to this point. You've got I'm trying here. I can't do it. You've got Connor McDavid on one side, and you've got, I don't know, Bo Horvat on the other.
I would say Elias Pettersson.
Okay.
I don't know that Bo Horvat is the top Canucks guy, you know.
I've got the Oilers beating the Nucks Monday
He's like,
night.
you got a lot of heart on the other side. Yeah, so I do want to highlight the teams that you picked against this week, the 5 teams that you picked against this week. Red Wings, Coyotes, Sabres, Rangers, okay, not terrible. And the AHL Canucks team.
I mean, I'm excited. This sounds like a great set of games. And the guy controlling the board agrees with me.
The biggest thing is, the funniest thing to me is if you get 5 wins this week, neither of us have ever had a perfect week. You get 5 wins this week and I get none. You're beating me by 1 win, but I'm still winning win percentage wise. So that's rough for you, bro. I'm hoping.
No, listen, at the end of the day, I'm probably going to have, at the best, I'm going to do 3-2. I foresee a 2 and 3 week happen here.
Definitely the Sabres are winning.
Because here's the thing, at the end of the
Canucks
day, this is still the NHL. And I wouldn't be surprised if Detroit comes out and beats the Hurricanes and then also beat the Lightning.
It's still the NHL, but it's also you picking them, which is really the real highlight of this. So good luck. I really hope that you have a really good week.
And here's the thing, my 2 worst weeks come when I stop gambling on the team.
That's
so
really
I
the problem.
I gotta gamble.
You got to get back into the game, gambling wise.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move into our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like that. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
Kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
Kind of odd that Oklahoma News already has the Olympic rings on their website.
Is it though? The thing is, the Oklahoma News, this is actually from the previous Olympics. They just haven't changed it. They don't even know that the Olympics have finished. Is the problem.
So a woman from Norman, Oklahoma says she did not know she had a felony charge from over 2 decades ago from not returning a VHS rental. Karen McBride said she found out she was charged with a felony when she changed her name on her driver's license in Texas after getting married. She said she had a heart attack. Court records show the charges were filed in 2000, saying she feloniously embezzled. What a weird word. I love the word weird. Feloniously embezzled the video cassette tape Sabrina the Teenage Witch from a store called Movie Place in 1999. The store was on, it's telling us the address, don't care. According to the court assessor, that business has been closed since 2009. McBride says she doesn't remember renting the tape. It's very possible the guy I lived with at the time did, but I didn't. Like, it's not like it's porn. Just say you rented Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It would have been a much more hilarious if this was from the adult section, though.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. It was like Who's Nailing Palin or something.
Why did you rent 3 copies of Debbie Does Dallas?
You betcha.
So the case was dismissed because obviously it would have been hilarious. Like, nope, you're going straight to jail.
The case for the felonious embezzlement was dismissed, but I would have to assume that the escape that they're prosecuting the attempted escape, right? I mean, she has tried to escape to Texas of all places. What a joke. I mean, it's a VHS tape. The DA still could go.
It doesn't make it go away.
The DA still could go forward and prosecute. They would lose, and they would lose badly because there are no witnesses. You know what would be even better if they dug up some like witness that was like, I saw her rent the
Get some
Sabrina
super
Teenage
black and
Witch.
white, like old security footage.
Yeah, I mean,
this week on 60 Minutes.
Yeah, or even better, like there's definitely like some CCTV out there of her like looking around and her throwing the tape in the trash can, and like it's like one of those situations the hackers like enhance, unpixelate, enhance. Yeah, what a joke! What an absolute joke! That like
this quote though. That's what I am. I'm a victim of the system.
Lady, you rented Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I would say that you are not a victim of the system.
Okay, I do not want to
did
hear
she-
any slander of Sabrina the Teenage Witch on this podcast.
Hold on. How did she become a victim? Did she even get arrested or something?
No. Yeah, she's definitely
like,
not a victim.
in what case?
This was at most a nuisance.
So wait, right. Well, that and like the case was dropped. So like you were like literally the opposite of a victim. Like you are like we're showing how the system works.
Now reading on, she says that she's been denied multiple jobs because of background checks because all it says is felony embezzlement on background checks. Which
Sure.
imagine you're getting a job.
Okay, so
Yeah.
after the first time it happens, it's like, oh, that was a mistake. But the
They
second
probably
time it
didn't tell her, though.
happens,
They probably just denied her.
Sure. But like at that point, like, you know, the second time that it happens that there's a weird denial, like, you know, like usually when background checks come into play, it's not like we just don't call you. It's like usually like, oh, stuff's happening. You're about to get the job and then you just don't. Like you're not looking into your own
If you
background.
can't remember to turn in the VHS tape, should you be working at a job
Sure.
that cares about that kind of
Sure.
stuff about embezzlement?
Sure.
Sounds like you're not responsible.
It's like I'm trying to
enough.
work at a bank. It's like, you were embezzling videotapes.
Yeah.
Okay. I
You
want
said
to
a
be
lot
honest
less like
with
a
you.
Sabrina and more like a Salem.
Usually we just like laugh about the joke. She seems like the kind of person that probably, when she did turn in her tapes, probably didn't even rewind them.
What if they did a sting and found out there's like thousands of VHS
Oh,
tapes
dude,
there?
she's actually like a huge Sabrina the Teenage Witch fan.
Yeah, it's all just that.
She's
There's-
just like super, like she's like in the interview with the DA and she's got like a Sabrina shirt on. She's like a huge Melissa Joan Hart fan. What a joke. What an absolute joke.
Yeah, so moving into pop culture, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Great friggin' show.
Freaking
Much better than
loved
WandaVision.
it.
Listen, I finished it up 2 nights ago with the wife. It was, man, Baron Zemo was amazing. What's the guy's name? Matt Buell, I think. Something Buell.
Bueller. Bueller. No, I was
Daniel Buell.
I was a huge fan. I think the big thing was it was a 6-episode show instead of a 13-episode show. I think if they tried to squeeze, even if they had the exact same storyline with just not as much into WandaVision, I think people would have liked it more.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, instead of expanding over a 3-month period, I mean, a month and a half period, I mean, every episode was, you were digging into
Yeah.
it. I freaking loved it. Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, fantastic job. And we can't even forget about my girl.
Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, my girl, dude.
Val?
Yes. Oh, Val.
the,
Don't call her that, bro. No.
Or as I would call it from the comics, Dark Fury.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of it. I mean, everything has to have, meaning these days and actually mean something. I think they did a really good job with that. And I mean, to be fair, it's not like they threw this stuff in. This was pretty on base. You're the comic fan of us too.
Yeah, to an extent.
It was
yeah.
pretty on base with the comic.
Yeah, I liked John Walker's arc.
I did too. I really did
I'm
too.
not a big John Walker fan, but honestly, as an anti-hero, he grew on me as an anti-hero for sure.
He really finished it out well. I mean, he did a great job acting the role. For sure, of what they wanted him to do. Like, I felt like they got exactly what they wanted from him.
And I was very curious how they were going to turn him into U.S. agent from the comics, and I think they did a fantastic job.
Oh my gosh, they rolled him right
which
into
means
it.
which I'm excited because Dark Avengers is a great series.
Mhm.
Very underrated series from the comics, and so I'm excited. That means they're going to have Dark Iron Man. They're going to have it's going to be great because the whole thing from the Dark Avengers, spoilers, is that they're definitely not good people, but they just drape the American, the Dark Iron Man just puts stars and stripes on him. He's like, yeah, I know I break the law, but like, hey, stars and stripes, bro.
What up, bro?
Yeah.
The action in that show, top to bottom,
Yeah.
fantastic, dude. The move where he's talking to the person in the helicopter, and he's like, "We got to time this exactly right. As soon as you hit 5, you got to take over control. And she's kind of like, what?
The fact that I did find it funny that she's counting out loud. And so was the guy like, hey, what are you doing?
It's like, why are you counting, buddy?
This sounds like you're plotting. Can you stop plotting on my helicopter, please?
He's just like, he just like goes down and totally ruins it. Anthony Mackie flies right into the,
or he just points the gun back and goes, no plotting.
Yeah, no plot. Or Anthony Mackie comes flying across and goes right into the wing. You're just like shredded. I freaking loved. I mean, dude, the scene where he walks in with the black super soldier, and he's like, "Now nobody will forget what you did." Oh, dude, that was a sick scene to me. I loved it. I was a huge fan. Yeah. I was more excited about this show than you were.
But now
you've been really pumped on it.
And that's mainly because, I like mutants more, and obviously they didn't give me the mutants that I got.
Right.
I also love Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is one of my favorite heroes.
Well, and the mutant thing was a big problem because you so expected it to happen. And it wasn't fair that they really threw you off with having Quicksilver in there on the WandaVision.
And literally, honestly, if they didn't do the Quicksilver arc, I would have been happy with
exactly.
WandaVision.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
but it feels like they tried to pull like a, oh, gotcha.
Yeah, your expectations were so high for that show just because you love what Scarlet Witch actually represents in the comics as actually being a mutant and all. And so I felt like this was a really good job. Honestly, I think I think Loki is only a 6-episode series too, right? I think that's probably the way to go. If it's not going to be a multi-season series that you're doing, then 6 to 8 episodes is probably the right
and
call.
I think they'll come out with a multi-season one, but the fact is they're trying to go into this next season. Like, listen, you're not going to get Tom Hiddleston to do multiple seasons of TV.
I don't know, man.
I mean, but it's also Disney. You throw about money at a man, he'll fucking do it.
Right, exactly. So loved it. If you haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I would highly suggest
I think Loki's going to top it out, though. Tom Hiddleston,
really?
Owen Wilson.
I was not super excited after watching the Loki trailer.
Honestly, I gotta agree. I was also not as hyped, but I think knowing the people involved, we're gonna like it. I think we're gonna like it more just because we both like Loki, bro. Loki's a cool character.
I have zero qualms about me liking it. I think I'm gonna like it. I just am not excited about it like I have been with these other couple of shows. So,
but honestly, I've been proven wrong. I think that they're giving us quality stuff.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you can't hate on them for giving us exactly what we've asked for the past 5 years,
But all right, let's move into questions from the internet. So let's start it out. What 2 animals would you switch the sounds of?
I thought that when I originally looked at it, I thought that you were like, I thought it said which 2 animals would you switch the sounds off? And I was gonna, and honestly, I have a way better answer for that people are probably not expecting.
Which is what?
Freaking birds, dude. I'll go out in the morning time and birds are just like assaulting me with their tweeting.
Yeah,
dude.
they talk a lot.
They're just like, I'm like, shut up, dude. It's like 8:30 in the morning. It's like chill for a little bit. But the sound switching thing is a little bit different. But I think anything switching with an elephant would be hilarious, dude. Like just super hilarious.
An
like
elephant and a bumblebee.
Yeah, I mean,
just
bumble. Okay. I'm like, what?
Like, but then the elephant is like,
yeah, it's just, like, and this, you're like, wow, that's a loud bee.
Or not even like if you don't go for funny route, just make it more aggressive. Give an alligator the sound of a lion. Then it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, that'd be scary for sure. I think that anything switching with.
Well, if you really want to screw with people, give something a rattlesnake sound. Just walking around and just like, oh.
Honestly, hearing the rattlesnake sound is like literally like the best thing that you can hear because that means they're definitely not attacking type of stuff. They're just trying to let you know, like, bro, chill.
That's the sound. That doesn't mean the animal that gets the sound is going to be following that rule.
Sure. I'm just saying it's like a good noise to hear because you're like, okay, I'm not getting attacked. Dude's trying to give me some, some space.
I want to give something a hyena voice.
That's what I was going to say. The hyena switching with something.
Like a chicken.
The hyena, like,
imagine
dude.
the chickens waking you up every morning with the hyena sound.
Or like a cow, like, you know, like you're going through the slaughterhouse and like, it's like, whoa, dude, I'm not killing this dude. This guy's BA. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't have anything like that sticks out in my mind. Like, there's lots of funny things that you could definitely do that would, make you laugh. Like a couple of good switcheroos. I think a bear noise on like maybe like a dog would be pretty awesome.
And we're leaving out one animal. Just give like, I don't know, an elephant to humans. That's how we're communicating now. Just
okay. Yeah, I mean, you know, I hate it, but yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome.
Elephants would be hilarious if they're just now talking. You got to pick an accent from them.
smack.
Obviously, you got to give them like a New Zealand accent.
It's like, all right. Hello
there.
Oh, hello there. It's like I always remember.
But all right, let's move into what's snapping your stick. Oh, shit, I forgot to do it, but you go first.
I think I did one that I've already done before, but like, you know, like you get like new listeners and stuff. And so like, I feel like I need to reiterate my distaste and my hatred for this. I freaking hate carpenter bees so much, dude. I'm in like a, almost, I would equate it to a war of the worlds style battle with carpenter bees at my home. We have a massive distaste for each other. I don't even understand their purpose. They just chew up wood and stuff. Like they don't even hive. Like they don't make honey. There is no value that carpenter. I'm sure that there's somebody out there that's like, they bring so much value to the ecosystem. Forget your ecosystem. I will gladly battle carpenter bees to the death. No questions asked. I'll fight them. I'm worn out by them. I hate them.
Pollinators. Nothing crazy.
Nothing even important. And so like now, so you're just like, so you're making me have allergies is essentially, that's your benefit to the earth.
Bruh, you know that's not what that means.
Freaking carpenter bees, dude. I do not look. There is not an argument that you can make on earth that will make me enjoy them and see their value. They have none. Okay, their one value is that they don't sting me when we're battling. That's it. They're aggressive, but no stings.
So, as a podcaster, I hate this, and I'm pulling this out of my ass because I forgot to do it. Freaking autoplay videos on websites. it's easily one of the worst things, and it turns me off from your business.
Bro, you would hate MySpace, dude.
I mean,
bro, I miss MySpace. You play the song, you know, like you're
whatever.
a
new we could do the new layout. Listen, we all thought we were like big time coders doing our HTML.
What do you mean we thought we were big? We were basically coding in HTML when you dealt with MySpace.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, right? It's just copy and pasting. Like, I'm not a coder. I'm not a computer guy, but like coding in HTML is just copy and pasting, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you're putting your own stuff in.
You gave me the shrug, but that essentially means that I'm not wrong because otherwise you would have said no.
I mean, you just gotta it's pretty much describing what you want, but at the end you just put a slash.
Yeah. Slash, and then you just type in, Tom's my boy, you know, you know what I did hate about MySpace when they went from just the straight up top 8, that was the only option you have, 12? To they got to a point where you were like top 96, dude. Like, bro, like you're not like, that makes me feel bad. Like you're on the top 96, but you're 94.
Imagine not being in it at 96 though. Imagine being like, oh, I'm 97.
No, I would feel better about not being in it because it's just like, oh, I was overlooked than being like 94. Like that means they thought of me and they're like, you're the 94th best person that I know.
But yeah, no, autoplay videos are the worst. Listen, first off, just go into a place and especially on mobile, because it just follows while you scroll down and you try to click the X and you go to the website. Mm-hmm. But then we're sitting here on a podcast multiple times. We got to edit out. I go to pull up a site. And it's like, hey, do you want to look at these dick pills, bro?
Yeah. I mean, you really should not be on porno websites while we're recording, but
it's part of the job.
I mean, it's, you're researching. Yeah. Okay. That's general research.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we will see you next week. Make sure to tune in this week for the fantasy show. And don't forget, June 26th, check us out at Tailgate Brewery and May 20th at 6 in Peabody. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace. All right.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @Pucks Out Pod.